Good morning, second grade. Today I'm making a video to show you how to create a flower vase inspired by Vincent van Gogh once you are finished with your other project. So you're gonna need a piece of paper from the second grade shelf. You're gonna write your name on the back with a pencil. So you're gonna need a pencil. I'm also gonna write my room number so Mrs. Hedesheimer will always know which class I'm in. And then if you think you might need an eraser, you guys know the erasers are by the pencils. There are some things we might end up erasing. And then lastly, when you're finished drawing, you can go over your lines with a Sharpie. So the first step to drawing a vase is, well, there's a lot of different places you can start, but I like to start with the shape of the vase. So when we draw something that's three-dimensional, like this cup, when you're looking at it, you'll notice that the bottom and the top are usually circular. So to show that on our paper, we're gonna start by making a line at the bottom that is not straight across, but curved like a smile. So that's our first step. Next, we're gonna decide what the sides of our vase are gonna look like. So here's some examples on the back. You could practice on the back if you want. The first way to make the sides is just to make them straight. The second way you could do them is you can make them round. Here's another way. You could do the way Vincent van Gogh did in his vase, is he made straight lines that kind of come in at the top to make it kind of like angled. You could also make up your own. So if you want to, you could have a vase that looks like that on both sides. But you'll notice that both sides are the same. That's called symmetry. So I think I'm gonna do mine like, let's see. I think I'll do the way Vincent van Gogh did. So I'm gonna make one line on one side that comes out and then comes in. And then on the other side, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna come out and come in. Now we're ready to draw the top of our vase. So just like the bottom of the vase has a circular shape, the top does too. So we're gonna go ahead and make another smiley face line to show the top of our vase. All right, so that's the shape of our vase. And technically, you might be able to see behind and see the back edge of your vase. So if you want to draw that part in, you can, but I'm drawing lightly because I'm gonna erase some of these things once I add some flowers. Okay, so right now our vase is floating in the air, so let's draw a line across the page to show that it is sitting on a table. So when you draw your line across, if it bumps into your vase, you're just gonna pretend that you go through and come out the other side. So now our vase is on a table. If you want to be fancy, you could draw some lines on the table to make it look like maybe it's made out of wood. You could draw something underneath, like a plate maybe that's sitting on. That is all up to you. But let's go ahead and move on. You could also draw something on your vase, like I might separate the top section and the bottom section with a line. You could draw another line. But let's keep it very simple with today, or for today. Okay, so now we're ready for some flowers. There's lots of different flowers you can do. I'm gonna start with Vincent van Gogh's favorite flower, which is a sunflower. So if you've ever seen a sunflower, sunflowers are pretty big. So I'm gonna start with a pretty big circle in the air. Right now it looks like it's floating, that's fine. And sunflowers have lots of skinny, long petals like this. So you're gonna draw a bunch of those next to each other in a pattern all the way around. This is called radial symmetry because it goes around in a circle to make your sunflower shape. Now this also looks a lot like a daisy. So this could be a daisy too. And flowers are not perfect. You don't have to have them all perfectly the same size. Sometimes they're falling over, and sometimes some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. So don't worry about being perfect. So that's the basic shape of a sunflower. So you could draw another one over here if you wanted to. If you wanted to make it look different, instead of making a circle shape, you could make a football shape. And then you could have your sunflower kind of going sideways. This is a little advanced. Just wanted to show you if you wanted to try it. So it looks like it's kind of falling over. Then you would erase the inside because you don't actually see that part because these petals are in the way. So that looks like it's kind of like falling over. Just something you could try. to make things different. You could also make a different kind of flower that has maybe a smaller center and bigger, wider petals. Now, one of my favorite flowers is a poppy, and poppies only have like 3 petals, but they're really wide, so they go all the way across. So you could try some flowers like that. You could also do a rose shape. So a rose kind of, the petals spiral. So if you want to draw a rose, you can start with a spiral shape that connects, so it's like an oval with a spiral, just like that. Then you would draw the sides. So you could draw one line that comes out this side, one line on this side, and then connect it at the bottom, and now you have a rose shape. Sometimes they even have a line that goes through them where the petals are overlapping. Let's see, what other, we could also do like a tulip shape. So maybe over here, I'm gonna have it kind of flopping over to the side, so I'm gonna draw it this direction. So a tulip would have like a oval shape for one petal, and then next to it would have another one that goes behind it. So it's almost like you're drawing a heart, except this side overlaps. And then you could just add one more behind it, and that's kind of like a tulip shape. All right, there's lots of other flower options you guys could choose from if you can think of some flowers maybe you've seen in your own garden or around school. And once you are ready, I think I'm good there. I could add maybe like one more over here. I want to make sure I use as much of the space as possible. So, but once I'm ready, I'm gonna add my stems. So the stems are going to start somewhere near the middle, but they're gonna come out wherever we can see them. So it's like, for example, this sunflower has a stem that's behind it right now, and when it comes out, it might come out from here and come down into the vase. Now, when I draw into the vase, I'm gonna go all the way down until I touch the smiley face line that I made for the front of the vase. And sunflowers are heavy, so we're gonna make our stem thick by making another line next to it, like that. But you'll notice that this line's in the way, so I can erase that. Now I have my stem. So I'm gonna do the same thing with all of my other flowers. I'm gonna stem from my rose. If you wanna be fancy, you could give your rose a thorn, because I know some roses have thorns on them. You could give a stem that comes out of this one, like that. And it's kind of fun to make your stems curved. Like, for example, this tulip is gonna be really curved because it's kind of falling over. I'm gonna erase these lines I don't need. I need 2 more. This one's gonna be a really small one because it's a small flower. And then this is my other sunflower that's drooping. So since my sunflower is drooping, it's gonna curve, it's gonna bump into this one and then come out the other side. Okay, so whenever you bump into something, you just come out the other side. All right, the last thing you could do is you could add some leaves if you have some empty spaces. Maybe you have some leaves. Different flowers have different kinds of leaves. That part's up to you. So now the last step for today is to go over your lines with a Sharpie. And I'm gonna give you one extra bonus tip. So to make this more realistic, we've done a lot of abstract art this year, but to make this more realistic, we could add a shadow. So if you would like to add a shadow, go over your lines with a Sharpie first. Take your time. I notice a lot of people sometimes are in a rush to outline with a Sharpie, and then they don't really go over their lines very well, like that. See how I kind of missed? So take your time and slow down. Think of it as a relaxing way to kind of chill out after you create your awesome drawing. You might need a little bit of a break, so think of it as a break as you outline your lines. All right, I think I'm gonna do the rest of mine later so that you don't have to wait for me. And then I'm gonna go ahead and make my shadow. Let me just go ahead and do the back side of my vase so you can see it. Okay, so I'll do the rest of my flowers later. what you can do to make a shadow is take your pencil, and we are gonna take one side. So I think I want my shadow to go on the left side. Your shadow could go on the right side if you want. And then we're gonna go back and forth with a pencil. This is called shading. So back and forth along the edge. And since I want my shadow to go more on this side, I'm gonna make it start to get thicker on the left side. So I'm going back and forth. And as I go back and forth, I can push down a little bit harder towards where the vase would be, because that's where the darkest part of my shadow will be. And I can kind of get a little bit looser away from my vase. And that gives it the effect that it's kind of slowly fading away. Then I can use my finger if I want to kind of smudge it. A lot of artists tell you not to use your finger because it's messy, but I like to get messy. And then erase anything that might be a little bit imperfect, and there you have a shadow. All right, boys and girls, so I can't wait to see how your vase turns out and what kind of flowers you choose. If you would like to just do sunflowers, you can just do sunflowers. If you want to do lots of different flowers, you can. If you want to do lots of colorful flowers, you can. Maybe all of your colored flowers are warm colors. All of these are choices that you can make as the artist, and I will be around if you need help. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a lot of fun today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.